The architecture of self-deception. You're not who you think you are. That sentence should terrify you, but it won't. Because the you that's listening right now, the conscious observer, the narrator of your own story, is itself a carefully constructed fiction. A mask so perfectly fitted to your face that you've forgotten you're wearing it. This is not self-help. This is not about becoming your best self. This is about confronting the uncomfortable truth that there is no single self to become. You are a collection of competing drives, shadow impulses, and social performances so deeply ingrained that you mistake them for authenticity. Let me show you how deep the architecture goes. Part 1. The mirror that lies. Right now, in this moment, you believe you're in control. You chose to watch this. You chose to listen. You exercise free will in every decision you make. But recent research reveals something darker. Studies on manipulation tactics show that we are far more susceptible to influence than we'd ever admit. The charm offensive, the guilt trip, the strategic withholding of information. These aren't just tools used by malicious actors. They're the very fabric of human interaction. Think about the last conversation you had. How much of it was genuine? How much was performance? How much was you unconsciously manipulating the other person's perception of you while they did the same? We call this the persona, Jung's term for the social mask. But here's what most people miss. You've worn the mask so long that you've bonded with it. The actor has become the role. You perform your personality so consistently that you've convinced yourself it's real. And what about the parts you've hidden? The rage you suppress in traffic, the envy you feel when friends succeed, the secret pleasure you take in others' misfortunes. These aren't aberrations. They're you, the real you, the shadow self that you've spent a lifetime trying to disown. Contemporary research on the dark triad personality traits reveals that narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy exist on a spectrum. We all carry these traits to some degree. And in our current moment, saturated with social media, addicted to validation, curating our lives for an audience of strangers, these tendencies are being amplified. Let that sink in. Social media isn't just reflecting narcissism, it's creating it, manufacturing it, teaching you, post by post, like by like, to commodify your own existence. You are both the product and the consumer, the manipulator and the manipulated. Wake up! Part 2. The puppet who pulls its own strings. Here's a question that will haunt you. If you could see the invisible threads controlling your behavior, would you have the courage to cut them? The answer is probably no, because those threads aren't external. They're internal. They're woven into the very structure of your identity. Consider this. Researchers studying emotional manipulation have identified that touch, physical touch, can be weaponized in relationships. A hug after an argument, a hand on your shoulder during a disagreement. These aren't always gestures of affection. Sometimes they're tactical maneuvers designed to disarm you, to make you more compliant, to bypass your rational defenses and access your emotional core, and you never even noticed. This is the genius of dark psychology. The most effective manipulation doesn't look like manipulation at all. It looks like care, like love, like someone who truly understands you. But let's go deeper. What if I told you that you manipulate yourself more effectively than anyone else ever could? Your brain is a prediction machine, constantly generating narratives to make sense of the world. But these narratives aren't objective. They're biased toward self-preservation, toward maintaining the illusion of consistency, toward protecting the ego from uncomfortable truths. This is why you rationalize, why you justify, why you rewrite your own history to cast yourself as the hero, or at minimum, the victim, never the villain. You gaslight yourself. You project your own unacknowledged darkness onto others. You see in them what you refuse to see in yourself. The Buddhist concept of anatta, no self, understood this thousands of years before modern psychology. There is no fixed, essential you, only a constantly shifting process, a river that thinks it's a rock. But here's where it gets truly dark. If there's no fixed self, then who exactly is doing the choosing? Who is the you that claims to have free will? The Stoics had an answer. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we don't control what happens to us, only how we respond. But even that response isn't as free as we'd like to believe. Your response is shaped by genetics, by childhood conditioning, by cultural programming, by millions of micro-influences you're not even aware of. You are a puppet who believes it's pulling its own strings. But look closely. The strings run through you, not from you. Part 3. The validation machine. Let me tell you about a form of control so pervasive, so normalized, that you participate in it willingly. It's called social proof, and it's everywhere. You check how many likes your post got. You feel a dopamine surge when someone validates your opinion. You experience actual emotional pain when you're ignored or dismissed. This isn't weakness, this is design. Social media platforms have gamified human connection, turning it into a slot machine of intermittent rewards. You pull the lever, you post, you share, you comment, and sometimes you win. Sometimes you get that hit of validation, that proof that you exist, that you matter. But here's the trap. The more you rely on external validation, the less you trust your internal compass. You begin to curate yourself not for authenticity, but for performance. You become a personal brand, a product optimized for engagement. Recent studies show that communal narcissism, the belief that you're uniquely caring, moral, or helpful, is strongly correlated with social media use. You're not just seeking attention, you're seeking to be seen as someone who deserves attention for the right reasons. You want to be admired for your virtue, for your empathy, for your awareness. But beneath that need, way down in the shadow, is something more primal. The need to be special, to be elevated above the masses, to be recognized as superior. And social media feeds that shadow. It tells you that you are special, that your voice matters, that your perspective is important. But so does everyone else's. You're not special. None of us are. We're just variations on the same fundamental patterns, the same drives, the same delusions. The hero of your story is the villain in someone else's. The wound you carry is the wound you inflict. The thing you judge most harshly in others is the thing you're terrified of in yourself. This is projection, and it's inescapable. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So what's directing your life right now? What unconscious patterns are running in the background while you believe you're in control? Part 4. The seduction of certainty. Here's a manipulation tactic that will make your skin crawl, precisely because you've used it yourself. The false binary. Are you with us or against us? Do you support this, or are you a bad person? Are you awake, or are you still asleep? This script is doing it right now. I'm creating a dichotomy. Those who see the truth of what I'm saying and those who remain in denial. I'm manipulating you into self-categorization, and you're letting me. Because humans crave certainty. We want to know where we stand, who we are, what team we're on. But reality doesn't offer that comfort. Reality is ambiguous, contradictory, paradoxical. You contain multitudes. You are both kind and cruel, generous and selfish, enlightened and deluded. The shadow isn't something separate from you. It's not the devil on your shoulder. It's the disowned aspect of your own psyche, the parts that don't fit the story you tell about yourself. And integration, true shadow integration, doesn't mean becoming whole in some idealistic sense. It means accepting that you will never be whole, that you're fractured, fragmented, multiple. The goal isn't unity, it's acknowledgement. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote that a prince must learn to be both the lion and the fox, strength and cunning, virtue and vice. Because morality is situational. What's noble in one context is foolish in another. But we don't want to believe that. We want to believe in objective good and evil, in heroes and villains, in redemption arcs and just desserts. We want the story to make sense. But it doesn't. It never did. The narrative coherence you impose on your life is a comforting lie, a defense mechanism against the chaos of existence. You're not on a journey. There's no destination, no final form, no ultimate self to discover. There's only this moment, this breath, this choice. And the next moment, you'll be someone slightly different. A new configuration of the same fundamental elements. Wake up to that. Part 5. The Price of Awareness. Let me be honest with you about what happens when you truly confront the shadow. You don't become more enlightened. You become more uncomfortable. Because awareness doesn't grant you immunity. It grants you responsibility. When you recognize your own manipulation tactics, you can't unsee them. When you notice how you guilt-trip your partner, how you perform vulnerability for sympathy, how you strategically share just enough weakness to seem authentic while maintaining control, you can't go back to unconscious innocence. This is the burden of consciousness, the curse of self-awareness. You see the games everyone's playing because you recognize them from your own playbook. Recent studies on gaslighting show that we're far more tolerant of psychological manipulation in relationships than we should be. We normalize it, we excuse it, we participate in it. And when we finally recognize it, we have to make a choice. Stay and be complicit, or leave and face the void. Most people choose complicity because the void is terrifying. The void is the space between the old identity and the new one, between who you thought you were and who you're becoming. It's the liminal space where nothing is certain, where you have no reference points, where the map you've been following turns out to be of a different territory entirely. The Stoics called this amor fati, love of fate. Embrace what is. Accept the totality of existence, including the parts that terrify you. But that's easier said than felt, because acceptance isn't passive. It's not resignation. It's an active choice to stop fighting reality, to stop insisting that things should be different than they are. You should be further along by now. Your life should look different. You should be happier, more successful, more fulfilled. Should. That word is the source of all suffering. Things are as they are. You are as you are. And all the narrative gymnastics in the world won't change that. So what now? Part 6. The uncomfortable truth about power. Let's talk about power. Not the obvious kind, wealth, status, influence. The subtle kind. The kind you pretend you don't want. You want to be right. You want to be seen. You want to be validated. You want to matter. These desires aren't noble. They're not even neutral. They're power drives dressed in acceptable clothing. Every argument you win, every debate you dominate, every time you prove someone wrong, that's not about truth. It's about dominance. And you know this. Somewhere deep down you know this. But you can't admit it because admission would shatter the self-image you've carefully constructed. The image of yourself as someone who cares about truth, about justice, about what's right. But what if you don't? What if you care more about being right than about what's actually right? What if your moral outrage is just another form of self-righteousness? Another way to feel superior? This is the shadow at work. This is the narcissism you don't want to acknowledge. And here's the truly dark part. Becoming aware of this doesn't make you better. It just makes you more sophisticated in your self-deception. Now you can be aware of your shadow and still indulge it. Now you can recognize your narcissism and use that recognition as proof of your self-awareness, which feeds the narcissism further. It's an infinite regress, a hall of mirrors. The more you look, the more reflections you see, and none of them are the real you, because there is no real you. There's only the looking. Part 7. The liberation in letting go. So what's the point of all this? If we're all manipulators and narcissists, if free will is an illusion, if the self is a fiction, what's left? Here's what. The possibility of honest encounter. Not with some idealized version of yourself, not with the person you think you should be, but with the person you actually are, right now, in all your messy, contradictory, flawed humanity. Shadow integration isn't about fixing yourself. It's about meeting yourself, all of yourself, including the parts that disgust you. And here's the paradox. When you stop fighting the shadow, it loses its power over you. Not because you've defeated it, but because you've stopped giving it energy through resistance. Jung said that what we resist persists. The more you deny your anger, the more it controls you. The more you hide your envy, the more it shapes your behavior. The more you project your darkness onto others, the more fragmented you become. But when you acknowledge it, when you say, yes, this is also me, something shifts. Not immediately, not dramatically, but slowly, gradually. You become less reactive, less defensive, less brittle. You stop needing to be right all the time because you've accepted that you're wrong a lot of the time. You stop needing constant validation because you've stopped performing for an imaginary audience. You stop manipulating others because you've stopped manipulating yourself. Is this enlightenment? No. Enlightenment is another seductive fantasy, another goal that keeps you from being present. This is just waking up, over and over, moment to moment, remembering that you're not the story you tell about yourself. You're the awareness witnessing the story. And that awareness is vast, spacious, capable of holding everything, the light and the dark, the noble and the shameful, the conscious and the unconscious. Part 8. The final confrontation. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why are you still listening? What are you hoping to get from this? Insight? Validation? The feeling that you're one of the few who understands? Are you hoping I'll give you a solution? A way out of the trap? I won't, because there isn't one. The trap is existence itself, the human condition, the consciousness that allows you to observe yourself and, in observing, creates the illusion of separation between the observer and the observed. You can't escape this, but you can stop pretending. You can stop pretending you're better than you are. You can stop pretending you're worse. You can stop pretending there's some final form you're meant to achieve, some ultimate version of yourself waiting to be uncovered. There's only this moment, this breath, this choice. And in this moment, you get to decide, will you continue the performance, or will you let it drop? Will you keep defending the persona, or will you allow yourself to be seen, really seen, in all your flawed, beautiful, terrifying humanity? This is the only freedom available to you. Not freedom from conditioning, not freedom from influence, but freedom to choose how you relate to your own experience. You can fight it, you can accept it, you can dance with it, but you can't escape it. And that's okay. Because in that acceptance, in that radical letting go of the need for things to be different than they are, there's a strange peace. Not happiness, not contentment, just peace. The peace of no longer fighting yourself, of no longer splitting your energy between what you show and what you hide. This is integration, not wholeness, but honesty, not perfection, but presence. Part 9. The invitation. So here we are, at the end of this journey that wasn't really a journey at all. Because you're exactly where you started, just maybe a little more aware of the patterns running in the background. I told you this wasn't self-help, and it's not. Self-help assumes there's a better self waiting to be helped into existence. But what if you're already complete? Not in the sense of being perfect, but in the sense of lacking nothing essential. What if the shadow you're trying to integrate is already integrated, and you're just refusing to acknowledge it? What if the persona you're trying to drop is already transparent, and everyone sees through it except you? What if the manipulation you're trying to overcome is already visible, and the only person you're fooling is yourself? These aren't rhetorical questions. They're invitations to look, really look. Not at who you think you are, but at what's actually happening in your direct experience. No story, no narrative, no interpretation. Just this: the breathing, the hearing, the awareness itself. That's all there is. That's all there ever was. Everything else, every identity, every role, every carefully constructed self-image is ornament, decoration on the void. And you can keep decorating if you want. Most people do. Most people need to. But every now and then, just for a moment, you can let it all fall away. And in that moment, you might glimpse something true. Not truth with a capital T, not some ultimate reality. Just something true, something real, something that exists before the story begins and after it ends. That's the only promise I can make. Not that you'll become better, wiser, more enlightened. Just that you might, for a moment, stop lying to yourself. And maybe that's enough. If this resonated with you, if something in these words touched the part of you that you don't usually show, leave a comment. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you want more of these uncomfortable conversations. But don't do it to be part of something. Don't do it to signal your awareness. Don't do it to feel special. Do it because you're tired of the performance, because you're ready to meet yourself honestly, because you're curious about what lies beyond the mask. Or don't do it at all. The choice, such as it is yours. This is MindX. Welcome home.